Good morning. Not bad, not bad. I'm really excited to welcome you to the wonderful Board Source Forum for 2014. On behalf of our entire board and staff, I want to thank you for joining us for this very unique conference, which is focused entirely on the important leadership role of nonprofit boards. We have more than 800 nonprofit decision makers in attendance, and I'm thrilled to report this is our biggest conference in recent history. We're very pleased that you're here with us and look forward to an inspiring, informative, and empowering 2 days. I want to start by thanking our two platinum sponsors, the Charles Stewart Mott Foundation and Prudential. As I know you all know, we would not be able to host this conference without the support of our generous sponsors. And the rest of our sponsors, of course, are scattered during the conference, so please thank them when you come across them. And I'd like to take a moment now to show our appreciation for the Mott Foundation and Prudential for their wonderful support and for everyone else. This has been an incredible year for Board Source, and I'm so proud to have the opportunity to serve as board chair of our board during this important period of growth and change. In just a few minutes, you'll be hearing from our passionate and energetic CEO, Ann Wallestad, who took the helm this past year and has been an incredible partner to me and to the board as we work to serve and support the work that you all do. And by the way, thank you for the work you do for your institutions. It's critically important work. I want to share a few highlights from the past year. We launched a new initiative with GuideStar, which is raising awareness about the importance of effective board leadership. Prior to this initiative, the only public information you could find out about an organization's board what was found on the Form 990, the IRS Form 90, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. A list of members and answers to a few basic compliance questions. Now, organizations have an opportunity to transparently share with the public information about 5 essential board leadership practices and to learn more about why they are so important. We believe that this initiative sends an important signal to the public and to all of us as in nonprofit leaders, that good governance isn't just about who boards are, it's about what they do. But of course, who our board members are does matter. That's why over the past year and a half, we have been building and expanding an online portal to help individuals and organizations think and act strategically about board recruitment, and why we've partnered with LinkedIn to create new tools and resources to help those individuals and organizations find each other. We've also been preparing to launch an important initiative that some of you have heard about at our conference last year. I won't steal Ann's thunder, but needless to say, as a board and as an organization, we are incredibly excited about the opportunity to take a stand on the important issue of board engagement and advocacy. So now, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Ann Wallestad, President and CEO of Board Source. Ann.
Thank you. 16 years ago this week, I was diagnosed with diabetes. I was 2 weeks shy of my 22nd birthday. It was an hour before one of the biggest business meetings of my early career. And my doctor stopped me in my tracks when, as a part of a routine physical, she said, "Has anybody ever told you that you might be diabetic?" That moment, that day, that week, is one that I will always remember because it changed my life in a radical way. About a year ago, I had a conversation with my current doctor that, while much less dramatic, was also an important moment in my personal history. After reviewing my charts, which showed lots of ways that I was doing well and lots of ways that I could be doing better, she was challenging me to do more. She was arguing very convincingly that even incremental steps to eat healthier, exercise more, and reduce stress would pay off in the long run and improve my overall health. I sat on the exam table and offered up excuse after excuse about why I just couldn't do any more. I travel a lot, and I can't always choose what I eat. I work odd hours, and I can't always find the time to exercise. For every suggestion that she made, I had a reason that it just wouldn't work. Finally, exasperated, she looked at me sternly and said, "Well, I guess it's just a question of how healthy you want to be." I was quiet. What was I supposed to say to that? She was right. I stopped arguing and let her words sink in. I am responsible for my own health, and I wasn't doing a very good job of owning that responsibility. I needed to invest the time and the energy that it would take to preserve my good health. I needed to stop leaving it to chance. This conference's theme is Governance by Design, which is an acknowledgement that strong board leadership and good governance cannot be left to chance. That leading our important missions is a responsibility that requires thoughtfulness, diligence, and perhaps most importantly, intentionality. You remember the old adage, the road to hell is paved with good intentions? I never liked that saying. To me, it doesn't respect the very real and important role that intention plays. Intention is the foundation for well-designed and planned change. It is the first step to thoughtful action, and it is a critical ingredient to your board's success. The most successful boards know this and own it. They are intentional about everything that they do. The way that they recruit, the way that they engage board leaders, everything. Intentionality matters. At BoardSource, we play the dual role of challenging boards to be more intentional and supporting you as you make it happen. We work to set a standard for what strong board leadership looks like, and then we build resources and tools to help you get there. Over the past 26 years, there have been a few moments that have been big leaps forward in how we define exceptional board leadership. In 1988, when we first published the 10 Basic Responsibilities of Nonprofit Boards. In 1991, when we first created a board self-assessment tool, which encouraged boards to reflect on their own performance and build a roadmap to deepen their impact. And in the mid-2000s, when we published both The Source and Governance as Leadership, two seminal texts which challenge boards to move beyond oversight and think deeply about the work of our organizations. Today, we are challenging boards to a new standard of excellence. This time around the role that each of us as individuals can play as champions, ambassadors, and advocates for our work. Decisions are made every day that have a profound impact on our missions. But all too often, our voices are missing from the debate. We aren't there at the table. We aren't there to ensure that our communities are represented. We aren't there to ensure that good ideas are funded. We aren't there to question failed policies. We are forced to pick up the pieces after flawed decisions are made, and our work, our missions, suffer. I firmly believe that our success cannot be measured by how well we react to the decisions that are made around us. I believe that we owe it to our missions to inform those decisions before they are made. I believe there is another way. That's why today, BoardSource is launching the Stand for Your Mission campaign in partnership with our colleagues at the Alliance for Justice, the Campion Foundation, the Forum of Regional Association of Grantmakers, the Knight Foundation, and the National Council of Nonprofits. This campaign seeks to unleash the full potential of the nonprofit sector to create positive change by engaging boards more directly in the advocacy work of their organizations. Why is this so important? Because in a world where time and resources are limited, advocacy is an opportunity to leverage limited resources to maximum effect. The opportunity to secure and protect critical public funds that support proven program strategies. The opportunity to create policy changes that enable us to do our work better and more efficiently. And the opportunity to solve, rather than mitigate, the most pervasive social problems that we face as a society. Board members, with their strong networks and volunteer citizen status, can amplify and accelerate our advocacy efforts in a way that is truly transformational. When passion and influence collide, there is truly no limit to what we can do. Consider the work of the San Diego Youth Symphony. Through their advocacy efforts, which included engagement from key board members, they made the case that music education delivers real educational impact for students. And as a result of those advocacy efforts, they got a formalized music education program back in the Chula Vista School District for the first time in 15 years. Students are learning to play and perform music because of the willingness of nonprofit leaders, staff, and board together to engage in a debate about the power of music education. That's not partisan politics. That's not mission creep. That's leveraging the passion and influence that shared leadership brings to your organization. That's the power of board advocacy. And that's what this campaign is all about. For me, this effort flows from a deep personal commitment to our sector, an acute awareness of the absolute urgency of our work, and a stubborn insistence on the importance of doing absolutely everything that we can to move our missions forward. Strong board leadership does not happen by chance. It is cultivated and groomed over time. It requires ongoing commitment, intentionality, and diligence. And as the Stand for Your Mission campaign highlights, it also requires action. That was my doctor's challenge to me, and that is my challenge to all of you. Start by being more intentional about your board's work, but don't stop there. Don't do what I was doing and make excuses about why you can't do what you know you should do. This conference is an invitation to consider what you want to be more intentional about when you return to the important work of your organization, and to build an action plan to make it happen. Whatever it is that you want to be more intentional about, there's likely to be a conference session that will provide inspiration and guidance. Whether it's something you're inspired to consider by one of our plenary speakers, a recommended practice that you aren't yet implementing, or a peer connection that could provide support to you in your role. We want you to think about where you are as a board and what more you could do to strengthen your performance, unleash your potential, and accelerate your organization's impact. And we want you to commit to yourself that you will implement those ideas and actions when you leave the conference. For some of you, that will be a private commitment. But for those of you who feel emboldened by the potential for positive change, I encourage you to make that commitment publicly. Out in the resource hall, we have a wall that is there to capture your commitments to action. And I encourage you to take a moment to share how you plan to bring intentionality and action to your board's work, how you are governing by design. As you think about what governance by design means for you and your board, I offer up these final 4 observations about how similar board health and personal health can be. First, we take good health for granted. When our boards are healthy, we may forget how essential they are to our success. Good governance can seem invisible in the same way that good health can be. Don't be lulled into complacency. Second, poor health is all-consuming. Just like when we have health issues, when our boards become unhealthy or dysfunctional, it's difficult for us to do anything else. It gets in the way of all the other things that we want to do, and it's virtually impossible to move forward until we get healthy again. Third, when you run into an issue, address it right away. Dealing with board challenges quickly and proactively makes a huge difference. Otherwise, much like with our health, a little issue can quickly become a big problem. And finally, getting into good, healthy habits goes a long way. Just like with personal health, it's impossible to head off all of the potential pitfalls and challenges that we might face as a board. But we can head off many of them by getting into good, healthy habits. You may be wondering what I did as a result of my conversation with my doctor. And part of me wishes that I could tell you that it inspired me to train for a marathon or some other grand gesture of health. But that is not what happened. And what I've come to realize is that's actually not the point. It's not about one big push, one fantastic effort. It's about everyday choices that make a difference. A sustained commitment to investing the time and the energy that it takes to be healthy. That's what adds up to a lifetime of good health. 16 years ago, my doctor delivered a harsh truth that changed my life and forced me to act. I was going to be an insulin-dependent diabetic for the rest of my life. I didn't have a choice. The conversation that I had with my doctor last year was very different because that's exactly what she gave me, a choice. A choice about whether or not I wanted to do more that would make me healthier both now and into the future. A choice about whether or not my good health was worth a little bit of extra effort. And a choice about whether or not I wanted to take responsibility and control for creating that new reality. That's the same choice that each of us has when it comes to the health of our boards. We have the power to make choices that will enable us to better lead our organizations, to invest the time and the energy that it takes to provide exceptional governance, the opportunity to create new realities that will serve our missions better. My conversation with my doctor changed the way that I think about my health from something that I should or have to do to something that I can do, something that's within my control, and something that I absolutely do not want to leave to chance. It is my hope that this conference might serve as a catalyst for change for you and your board, that it persuades you to do the little things that would make a big difference, that it encourages you to bring more intentionality to your work and to translate that intention into action, that it inspires you to govern by design. Enjoy the conference, enjoy our hometown of Washington, D.C., and thank you for the important work that you do. Thank you.